Greetings and salutations, dear viewers and others. My name is Fauzan alfatih, and I would like to present to you the story of bravery and courage and sacrifice of a cowboy called Utah Carroll. In the southern part of Texas lived a rancher in his fine farmstead. His farm is a prosperous one and a lively one, as the rancher is a hard-working man. His wife and his boss's family lived along in the farmstead on a separated mansion around the farmstead. Besides his boss's family and his own family, lived a handsome and well-mannered cowboy called Utah Carroll, a fine man better than any, but as well-mannered as a noble knight. Utah works as a fellow rancher, and he works so well that the people outside the ranch knows him well, and they often helps him in a few matters such as trades and businesses. One day, as the morning southern breeze blows and the cardinal birds start to roam the sky seeking for their daily blessings of breakfast, the rancher rises from his bed. He went out, walking eagerly towards the kitchen. As he arrives in the kitchen, he gently turned on the fireplace and put a small grill on top of it. He laid down a kettle on it and poured some fine coffee to his steel mug. For working men like this rancher were talking, what's better than to enjoy a cup of freshly brewed coffee and a Lucky Star cigarette in the cold dandy morning? Nothing. It's one of the things a good man shall be grateful for. He poured the boiling water gently to his mug and took a small sip after, savoring every taste of the coffee, marking the beginning of his happy cowboy life. The cow moves outside the house. A rooster calls him from the coop as the sun begins to rise, and this prosperous farm became livelier. He walks out of the door as he opens it, looking around in smile and satisfaction, grateful over what has the Lord blessed him with. He took another sip before sitting on his favorite chair, facing the landscape of this fine morning, surrounded by the tall, big green mountains, which is also surrounded by the grasslands. A small river happened to flow by their place, making the feel of living here more alive. As he sits there, sipping on his lovely coffee, and he noticed a man with a rifle on his back, a lasso on his hip, and a six-shooter resting on his holster, unbothered, as if it has seen better days. He is chewing on a piece of straw too, and his shirt has a brown stain, an old stain, and as a proof and a sign of what he is, a real proper cowboy, and an honest working man, and a sign of his devoted life as a cowboy. Rancher smiles and raises one hand as a friendly gesture of greeting to him. The cowboy walks closer and tips his hat to the rancher, and he stands in front of the porch, calmly before leaning on the house's fence. He looks back and asks, "Real fine morning as usual, ain't it?" The rancher faces meets his as he responds, "Ain't that right, Utah?" Then he chuckles slightly. Utah faces the front, facing the horizon and the bright blue sky. His expression is unreadable but calm. Then he speaks again. "I ain't gonna lie to you, Joe. If God grants me 1,000 lives, I'd spend it protecting our ranch right here." The rancher tilts his head and asks, "Why?" Utah glances back and smiles. "Isn't it obvious?" he responds. "I was born to be a cowboy. Then I was sent here. This is the place where they taught us how to be a cowboy. How to ride, how to shoot, how to know your horses and such." The rancher laughs slightly in agreement before sipping back to his mug. "I can tell," the rancher says. Utah takes the straw out of his mouth and looks back. "And if I had to leave this world, then let my body lay here in our grazing land, and my soul going to wander here, watching the land where I was raised, forever," he adds as he looks back, facing the rancher's face. He looks calm, but there's a hint of seriousness in his face. The rancher looks up to his face and nods slightly before leaning back to his chair. He raises his hand to his back and closes his eyes. "Make sure of that. Promise, partner." Utah looks away and stands up, his tall shadow towering the rancher. He sighs and looks at him. "Well, thank you," he said calmly. The morning wind keeps blowing gently through their skins. The bird chirps as the sun raised higher. A few moments later, as the rancher is shoveling the cow's manure in the barn, his wife came over to him and says, Joe, Mr. Hamish is looking for you in Utah. I think he wants you to lead another cattle drive today. The ranger rests his shovel and walks towards her. Where's Utah? He asks. He's by the stable. He's by the horse stable with the boys. I think Mr. Hamish's granddaughter is with him too, she replies. I'll take him along, he says. The wise face turned into a jealous smile as he heard his statement. Oh, you ain't gonna take me? She complains. We don't want our princess here got a stain on her newly washed gown, so I guess there's no need bringing our lovely princess out, he chuckles. Long story short, the group of the cattle drive from the farmstead ready to set out for the cattle drive. Utah put a red blanket on Lenore's horse's saddle to make her ride more comfortable. Hours passed by and the grazing open range filled with the marching cattle all around, guarded by the cowboys on its sides. The view is perfect, cherished with the calmness of an American countryside, when suddenly, as Lenore calmly rides his horse, a snake passes by agitating her horse, making it neigh and bucks up slightly, exposing the red blanket. The red blanket slips away, dangling on her back on her saddle. A cattle bull saw her blanket and agitated, groaning and mooing, making the herd panic. The cowboys warns the herd, trying to calm them by shooting their guns up and calming the cows. But it was too late. The herd is now separated aimlessly while the main herd, led by the bull, charges towards Lenore. She turned her pony's face and rides as fast as she could, when suddenly her horse trips, making her fall, stumbled down her injured horse. Hold still, Lenore, I'm coming! Utah yells as he notices his little friend is trapped. He rides as fast as he could towards her, tries to grab her by the collar, but unfortunately his horse trips and falls, making him stumble too near her. His horse rises and ran away, leaving both persons on the ground. He crawls towards Lenore and covers her head with his hands and says, Lay still, Lenore. The angry herd is getting closer and closer when suddenly Utah rises and pulls out his revolver. He picked up the red blanket and waved it up, trying to distract the herd. He ran to the side while still waving the blanket, trying to get the herd to follow him. He was succeeded. His six-gun flashed like lightning as the herd was getting closer to him. He closed his eyes as the herd trampled him and he met his fatal end. Lenore stayed still, watching her best friend die heroically in front of her, saving her life as she sits still in tears. The ranger came to save her, and he saw everything from afar. Utah's body lay still cold and bloody on the ground, but his legacy as a savior remains. The next day in the range, the cowboys dug up a grave under a linden tree before putting the lifeless body of a local hero, Utah Carroll. The men and women and family gathered, sending their deepest condolences of the departing of their beloved cowboy. The preacher lectures and recalls his kindness as he had lived, and he said, I hope we all will meet Utah at the roundup far away. And they wrapped him in a red blanket that saved his little friend's life, but it is this red blanket that brought him to his end. And that's the end of the story of Utah Carroll. A brave cowboy who dared to save her family's life, her friend's life with all his might, with his own life, heroically and nobly and honorably. So I guess that's how the story is going to end. This is what I can present to you, dear viewers. Thank you for listening and thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a fine, wonderful day anywhere and every time. So with that, I would say see you soon and see you later.